Hey kids, I'm not well. Can we talk about Heated Rivalry and why the gay smut show is now just an emotional wrecking ball ruining us emotionally? It's like the best thing the gays have gotten in a long time. I was gonna wait until the end of the season to cover the last 3 episodes, but after watching episode 5 and after seeing a lot of hype over it on social media, they were like, this is the episode. And I thought, what, even better than all the ones that we've gotten so far? Yes. Oh, yes. So much better. It's emotional torture, but it's also emotional satisfaction. Like episode 5 hits all of the beats that I wanted it to hit before I even knew I wanted it to hit those beats. Like the movie knew what the gays needed before the gays could tell them what they needed. The more I read about the work that went into the behind the scenes, the work that they did with the writers and the directors and how they went about everything in terms of the behind the scenes, pitching the project to production companies, pushing for it to be as gay as it is and for it to start in the first episode. Apparently they wanted to hold off on the gay sex until season 2 to warm up audiences. This is what Hollywood can learn from Heated Rivalry. It can learn that when you allow directors and storytellers to genuinely tell the story they want without studio interference, without worrying about how you're going to maximize your profits if this doesn't land with general audiences. You need to like get out of your echo chambers and go outside, touch some grass, speak with people, and realize that there is a lot of demand for this kind of shit. You just have to give people what they want. You stay authentic to the story, you lure the gays in with the smut, and then you send them off with warm hearts and hope for a better future. Honestly, it's the more I read about it, the more I'm like, damn, they really did that thing. Like Crave Canada is dog walking everyone. And if you're new here, why don't you consider subscribing down below? We have super duper interesting conversations. We make fun of fun media. We also dissect important topics. And you know, socialism is good if you give it a chance. After that sharp, aggressive pivot to Scott and the Equinox CrossFit professional champion barista college student Kip, who's also an art history major, no less, the story takes us back to Shane and Ilya. In episode 4, it starts with Ilya saying, "Previously on Heated Rivalry," with that very thick Russian accent, and straight away,
"Previously on Heated Rivalry,
my basement is flooded." Shane is now the one getting all the success in his career. He carries the Montreal Metros to a championship victory 2 years in a row, which is unprecedented. And if in episode 2 it was Ilya getting all the success and Shane watching from home smiling happy for him, now it's the opposite. It's so fucking cute. I want to scream. It's now October 2016, and I had to look back because I couldn't remember when exactly they met, and they met in 2008. It's been 8 years of fucking, really. That's it. That's all they do. And as the season progresses, you notice a significant shift in how their intimacy is coordinated, that it's no longer just the raw physical. It starts becoming also the gentle touch. There's a scene around minute 22, 23 in episode 4 that I think needs to be discussed. They start off cuddling on the sofa after having some personal conversations. One thing leads to another. Next thing you know, Shane's on top of him and we don't cut. Like, we go beginning to end. This felt very much like something that happens. This felt very realistic and organic. I think it's well done. I don't know what kind of gymnastics y'all are doing in your bedrooms. You know, not everyone is a deep dish. Deep dish. Not shaming anyone, of course. You know, it's in finding a balance. But when you're doing a show about closeted hockey players, they're gonna have closeted hockey player sex. So anyway, after this glorious sofa scene, Shane panics and leaves in a rush. He suddenly can see himself having this life, you know, with Ilya. It feels right. And that's dangerous because it's impossible. So if by the end of episode 2, it was Ilya who turned cold and distant after their sexual tryst, now it's Shane. They're toying with your emotions after they've toyed with your libido. Yeah, that's evil. Evil and effective. Cut to Shane having lunch with his parents, and after talking about whether or not he likes girls earlier with Ilya, his parents are now trying to set him up with someone. They're doing it. They're doing the thing, you know, when you have a homo who knows he's a homo, but he still needs to be sure because society around him just isn't nice to him. I don't know. This is 2016, and this is where I'm like, okay. Shane's invited to a party by one of his teammates, and he decides to go because there is a famous actress there, Rose Landry, that he'd like to meet. Of course he would, you little gay boy. So they meet at the party and they get to talking and they of course hit it off. And at this point I was panicking. I thought this is it. This is a straightification of Shane and we're gonna have to put up with God knows how many episodes of him just forcing himself to be with a woman. But I also understand that this is a classic trope of the genre. Like, this is one of the tenets. A tenet is a palindrome. You know what else is a palindrome? A Toyota. Do geese see God? And my personal favorite, Satan sees Natasha. They get to talking and it goes really well. It's very easy and natural. The conversation flows, and I was actually impressed by the cinematography. Is that the right term? Like, they gave this bar the gay lighting, no overhead lights, because that shit's homophobic. It just looks really pretty and well done. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. I'm saying there's no reason for Crave Canada to make such a good adaptation of a series of books where the whole point is just to see closeted hockey players bumping uglies. How do you turn that into such an emotionally rich story? Well done. Well done. So Shane and Rose start seeing each other, and the episode culminates with some unbelievable Straggart behavior. Shane is at this nightclub with Rose and a friend of hers, Miles, who cannot stop drooling at Shane. Ilya ends up going to the same nightclub, and seeing Rose's friend, turns and sees Shane there with her. All the Things She Said by Tattoo starts playing, and that's nasty business. We all remember where we were when that music video dropped, right? Like the atmospheric pressure changed globally. It was a shift in the electromagnetism of the sleigh mother boots the house down of the crust slatonic shift plates of Yas Mama. Whew, it was tough, but we survived and we thrived. And now we're hearing it with such a heartbreaking sequence where, Ilya wants to be with Shane. Shane wants to be with Ilya. They want to be como se dice. Because that's how they do it, right? This right here, it's how gay sex goes. But they can't, because there's pressure from the hockey fans, right? Hockey fans, y'all need to mind your business. And then the song evolves into a remix. That one I didn't like as much. It was a bit more slow tempo, more like nightclubby, doons doons. It had a male voice. I don't know. I didn't like it. I also didn't like the fact that the episode had to end with this absolute nonsensical sequence. It cuts back and forth between Ilya grinding against a girl at the club and Shane watching Rose go upstairs fully naked, ready to be deflowered by this actress. And I'm like, who asked for this? No. Wrap it up, put it in a bag, don't want it, keep it, burn it. And one thing I really did not understand was this scene here. Look at that. Why is Shane just allowing himself to be in this sandwich? Miles is literally kissing his neck or trying to, and he's just like, if you're gonna do this out in the open, do it with a hot Russian that you want to bang, right? Like, aren't we in the closet? But then he goes and does this. It don't make no sense. Don't piss me off. But then episode 5 came and oh my God, it was a mess that we have since rewatched several times. Episode 5 hits a lot of the hallmarks of the gay experience, and I think they did it really well. First, we get the holy trinity of allies, women. We don't deserve them. We got Elena, who's, Skip and Scott. Then we've got Svetlana for Ilya, and we've got Rose for Shane. I really thought in episode 4 that the story was going to go in a very different direction, okay? I was fully ready for episode 5 to be the Shane and Rose ascension to, I don't know, an engagement or something, since we keep skipping 1 to 2 years between scenes. I thought they were going to be fully married by the end of the episode or something, and I don't know, pregnant. I didn't read the books. I was very pleasantly surprised that instead they went for the right way, right? They dipped their toes in that little storyline of let's find a girlfriend, but then, like, you know what? No, let's change it up and be progressive. So episode 5 starts with Shane and Rose in bed together after sleeping together, but they didn't fuck. And Shane apologizes. He says, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just so tired. And Rose is like super chill. Oh, don't worry about it. You know what? Why don't we go to dinner together and we can talk about it and we just spend some time together. Rose is so chill. I was like, you know what? I like her. So they go to dinner, and this whole scene was just wow. So Rose's entire pretense for this dinner is to ask if Shane is gay because he's not been performing in bed with her. And she's like, well, if he can't perform with this, he doesn't like women. Valid conclusion to take. Honestly, love the confidence, own it. Yeah, it makes sense. It tracks. And she's right. He can't perform because he's gay. But she goes about it in such a respectful way that I feel like everyone should have this experience at one point in their lives with a friend. Again, I think it's okay that in some series, everyone gets this sort of satisfactory journey into a happy ending. that doesn't involve massages. So she starts off by saying like, oh, you're so cute. You know, Miles also thinks you're cute. You didn't notice he's gay? Does that surprise you that he's gay? You know, there's a lot of gay actors. They're just not out because it's not safe for them. Speaking of, are there any closeted gay hockey players? And it's so funny because you can see the terror in Shane's face. I don't know if he's completely clued in to what she's wanting to ask or if he's just confused by the line of questioning. I'm going to say he knows, but he's trying to play it cool, and you can see his body vibrating. Again, incredible acting performance by Hudson. The performance is all in the body language, not so much in the dialogue. And I think that's so good when actors have that chance and they really nail it. Rose even says that sex between them isn't a problem because a problem is something that you can fix, and there's nothing wrong with them. They simply don't fit. They're like a square peg in a round hole. And I love that she used this analogy, question mark, of a square peg in a round hole, because that gives Shane the opportunity to say at the end, I kind of prefer being the hole rather than the peg. Kind of prefer. Okay, Shane, yes. We all know what that means, you little power bottom. Shane finally has an ally on his side, and that's great. Like about fucking time, right? But 10 minutes into this episode, and it has already wore me down. Cut to the All-Star game. Don't ask me logistics or how it works, but Ilya and Shane are gonna be playing in the same team for something. And the energy feels different. Something definitely has shifted. Shane seems a lot more comfortable in his own skin. He's even having a drink. He hired a stylist. And Ilya plays hard to get, and, you know, he's a bit miffed that he's seen Shane and Rose in the press, but he melts completely once he realizes that Shane and Rose are not together. Shane tells him, we're not compatible. And these stolen glances, oh my fucking God. Stop torturing us. Cut to Ilya doing this. See, no. No. And then Shane scores a goal in the game after Ilya made a pass, and Ilya does this. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, what on? See what I mean? Like, they're framing these conversations so beautifully. It really should not have come to this. You didn't have to. I'm glad they did, though. I'm glad they did. And they were still filming this in January, and it's now December, and the series is almost all out. See, they didn't need 3 years to do 8 episodes, but let's also say a year for 6. Let's ramp up the episode amounts per season, please. Maybe let's go back to 22, 24 episodes. You know, give us pointless plot lines. Let us watch our characters do needless, unimportant, stupid shit that's not going to have any bearing in the main story whatsoever. But, you know, we get to know them. We get to see them being messy. Bring back messy. You know why? This is why AI slop is winning, and this is why those vertical fucking TV shows are winning as well, because we don't have series of 22 to 24 episodes anymore, okay? We don't have these fandoms where every week for half of the year, you have something to talk about your favorite show. Now it's like 10 episodes and it's done, or it's like it comes out all at once and that's it. It generates discourse for a week and then everybody forgets, and 3 years later, they come back with another season thinking that we're gonna be jumping up and down of excitement. It's like, no, it's been so long. No one cares anymore. All your actors started off in diapers and they're all now paying taxes. Keep it. Sorry, that was a rant. That was a tangent. Like, what am I supposed to do with this shot? You know, cry? 'Cause I will. Don't threaten me. I feel the cynic dying in me slowly. Like they're killing it off. Cut to later that night, and Shane decides he wants to talk about how their last time was different. Their feelings are clearly becoming too much to handle. But I don't think they're falling in love now. It's just now becoming completely unbearable. Because it's been 8 years since they started fucking. They finally actually talk, and we get a better understanding of the two. Shane can't keep pretending he doesn't like Ilya, and is even daydreaming of the possibility they could actually be together full time because it was nice the last time. And Ilya can't be with him because he wouldn't be able to go back to Russia. Or better yet, he doesn't want to find out what could happen. His mom is dead, his dad is old, very conservative, and has dementia, and his brother is a piece of shit who extorts him in exchange for taking care of their father. Well, f me sideways, because Ilya starts tearing up. So Shane climbs onto his lap, kisses him, and holds him tight as Ilya cries into his chest. And to think some of you were complaining that this was just with a little bit of dialogue. I was one of those people, so you know. And this time when Shane leaves the room, they are on good terms. I'm gonna scream. Another game, another lay, and just before another game, Ilya gets a call and has to rush back to Russia because his father unfortunately passes away. So they video call, and Shane is like, I'll do anything to help you feel better. And Ilya's like, take off your clothes. God damn, yes, daddy. What? Who said that? And even then, we are getting so emotionally invested in these two that they don't even cover the phone sex that I heard happens in the book and is very, very juicy. But no, they skipped over it. Because, you know, now they've established that these two boys are in love. Gets worse though. So Ilya's at his father's funeral dinner, and his brother, the absolute freeloader piece of crap that he is, has the nerve to confront Ilya about like what happens next, because Ilya had been paying for everything for his entire family. You know, his brother doesn't work. He takes care of his father full time, and he's supporting his brother's wife and their daughter. So his brother is probably panicking that now that the father is gone, he's going to have to get a real job and start supporting his wife and his kid. So instead of doing that like a real man, he has the nerve to confront Ilya as if Ilya has a responsibility, a financial responsibility to take care of everybody just because. And Ilya kind of explodes, last straw, when his brother calls Svetlana a whore, which was absolutely fucking uncalled for. Mind you, Svetlana, absolute angel. So he cuts off his brother completely after leaving him his own apartment and his niece a trust fund, which honestly, Ilya's better than me, because I would leave a trust fund for the niece and I'd punch my brother. But the best part of it all is that at the end, Elena's like, you know, I love you and I'll always be there for you. I just hope Jane knows how lucky he is. She said he. Svetlana, mind you, had been teasing Ilya this entire time, like sporadically. Anytime that Shane was playing on TV, she'd be like, "Oh, he's so hot. Don't you think he's hot? And he's such a good player too. I want to see you two on the ice together." And she kept giving him opportunities to come out and say it, but he never did. So she just came out and was like, "Hey, I know you like PP. It's okay. I still love you." And the next scene, oh my God. The episode keeps building, right? It starts off and you think, okay, there's no way the episode can top this scene, but then it tops it. And then it keeps topping it and topping. And I'm like, damn, fucking hell. So many tops and bottoms. We're all bottoms to this story. We're all bottoms like Shane. We're all the hole. Crave is the peg. HBO Max is the hammer that nails it. And we're all just holes. Oh, there's something wrong with that sentence somewhere, I'm sure. Ilya goes for a walk and it's snowing outside and it's cold, and he calls Shane. He wants to talk to someone and he's struggling at first to speak in English. I love that Shane just retreats himself to a quiet area where he can fully give Ilya his undivided attention. And Ilya sits under a bridge outside and he's struggling with English. So Shane tells him, if you want, you can just like let it all out, vent in Russian. So he does. Now, I don't know what kind of fucking witchcraft they did. The actor, Connor, if you're ever watching this, congratulations. I don't know what Russian is supposed to sound like, but I heard that and I was like, yep, that's Russian. To me, he delivers a long-ass monologue where he lets it all out, all of his frustrations, how his brother has always hated him, probably because he senses some of his fairy energy, how he's been basically the pig bank for his entire family, and they keep taking, but they never actually are there for him. He feels like they all hate him. He hates being there. He hates that place, and he feels so utterly alone apart from Svetlana, who he loves, and who she loves him. My God, English. Svetlana loves him. Wait, because oh my God, what he says, I need to paraphrase it. And I love her, but not like I love you. That's the worst fucking part of all this, is that all I want is you. It's always you. I am so in love with you, and I don't know what to do about it. Oh my God. I knew those writers were gonna do the first I love you in a foreign language. You just had to. And it's also an interesting detail that Ilya is able to open himself up a lot more when he's speaking in Russian to Shane than when he's speaking in English, because it's a lot easier to be vulnerable when the other person has no idea what the fuck you're saying. And that's why as soon as they switch to English, Ilya suggests teaching him how to say harder de yes instead of like actual normal things he could use in Russian. 1 week later, and this progress they're making in their personal lives is permeating into the ice. So much so that they play against each other, and Shane is so just madly in love that he gets distracted and is absolutely tackled to filth and ends up in the hospital with a concussion and a fractured collarbone. Girl. But when Ilya visits him, Shane is high as a kite. He's on a lot of drugs. And fun fact that wasn't shown in the series, but I've heard is in the books. The night before, when they were playing against each other, they were going to meet up later after the game, and Ilya was going to break things off with Shane because Ilya, being in love with Shane, is scared and he wants to cut it all off before, anyone else gets hurt or before they get hurt even more. I don't know. It's stupid that after 8 years of you're like, actually, I need to end things before it gets messy. It's been almost a decade. Like, it got messy. It's messy. Luckily, Shane got tackled and ended up in the hospital, and Ilya couldn't break up with him, and he was in pain and all drugged up and cute and happy to see him, especially when Shane invites Ilya to go with him to his family's cottage in the summer to spend some time together. And Ilya is like, okay, I'll think about it, and then leaves. Cut to May 2017. Shane is at his parents' cottage. Ilya is in Russia with his Russian gang. Scott Hunter from episode 3 is playing the final game of the championship. And then, against all odds and after a brilliant season, Scott Hunter's team wins the championship. This is so corny and tacky and cheesy, and I love it. It was such a perfect way to end the episode because Kip is in the audience tearing up, sad, but also happy for Scott. Then Scott sees him in the audience, calls him down, takes him to the ice, and once all the damn cameras are on his face, he kisses the fuck out of Kip in front of everyone. And it keeps cutting back and forth between Kip going down to the ice. It takes him a while. And Ilya and Shane both in each of their own places on the edge of the seat. Like, what the hell is happening? Because here are two closeted hockey players who won't even spend the summer together in private in a cottage somewhere out of fear of getting outed. Seeing that one of their fellow players, the guy that just won the championship, something that they're all like, it's a big feat in their career, just smacking lips with a man on that ice. Was the kissing a lot? Yeah. And if that had been, a hockey player calling his girlfriend down there, I would have been inclined to throw something. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you have to allow this behavior because it's about, the intention, the taking the stand. He's basically making a statement like this is the first ever time that anyone in this league comes out as gay. Everyone is so fucking afraid of even uttering the damn word. It's such a powerful moment to just be like, you know what? I am gonna come out. I'm super scared for my career, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to call down the man that I love, and whatever happens after, whatever consequences, whatever opportunities, whatever it is, we'll figure it out together. And isn't that beautiful? Gandhi. So then Ilya calls Shane straight away and says, I'm coming to the cottage, or something like that. I think society is going to collapse next week. I have read what sort of happens next. Kind of along the lines of, I don't know, I have my suspicions. I think society is going to collapse. It's going to be like earthquake magnitudes, vibrational frequencies, just pressuring the atmosphere all around us. The mother Slatonic shift plates, Yasma Magaga boots the house down, is gonna fuck us all up. Yeah. Get lubed up and ready. Fucking hell. Guys, I don't think I've been this emotionally satisfied by an episode of a romantic TV series in a while. It just hit all of the notes. Right? You didn't even know you needed those notes hit. And then the series just comes and smacks you. You're like, ah! But it works. I saw someone on Twitter, and it was the funniest thing I saw that week. Someone took a screenshot of the #1 and #2 series of that week on HBO Max, and it was Welcome to Derry and Heated Rivalry. And someone said, I don't know if I'm going to find that tweet again, but someone said, so funny how both shows are about swallowing kids. How very dare you? Why do people just put this shit online and expect us to what? not repeated forever. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to like it down below and subscribe to the channel. And we will be back next week to cover the finale. And if I don't see you guys before then, for everyone who celebrates, merry, happy, fantastic holidays and celebrations and greetings of happiness and joy for everyone. I hope you have a good end of the year, a good beginning of the next year, but I'll see you before the new year. And until next time, stay safe, stay sane, stay stupid, and stay stuttering. Bye, guys. Guys, please subscribe. We're almost at 1 million subscribers. There's a few left, just a couple of them. So subscribe down below. It's serious business.